All right, hi coaches. I appreciate you again jumping in here and coaching with us for another season of another sport that we have going on. All the coaches that have signed up to coach T-ball, we really appreciate you and look forward to the season. Just a few quick things here to get you started. Season will begin on May 9th, will be your first game, and your season will end on June 16th. Try to get everybody's payment in by April 27th. That way we can get everybody's shirts and have everybody ready to go on game day, and we're not catching up trying to get shirts out there to the kids. On the equipment, we're going to check you out a couple of bats and some bases and some balls. Now the balls, we don't really get back, but the other stuff, could you have those back by June 24th so we can keep our cost at a minimum for you guys? For replacing equipment every year, it gets a little costly, so let's try to get that equipment back as fast as possible after the season. Coaches, once you get your roster, and if you already have your roster, make sure you've contacted every player on there. I mean, parents are anxious. They've signed up their kid, so they're really wanting to know when practice is, who their coach is, what team they got put with. So please stay on that and get everybody contacted. We'll make sure that we will be in any communication with you if we want to add a player to your team or anything then we'll allow you to communicate to the players. Make sure that we have any adults that are going to umpire for you, because the home team has to provide the behind the plate umpire. So please have any adults you think may umpire for you do a background check with us. That way you guys are good to go at the games and you have somebody there to officiate your game. The game rules in this T-ball league, the games are going to consist of 5 innings or 75 minutes, whichever occurs first. So 75-minute ends, game is over. No inning is finish that inning, but there's no inning to begin after that time has expired. It is not drop dead. It is just after the inning, 75 minutes, finish that inning, and then the game is over. Starting time, both scorekeepers for both teams, please get together and get the official starting time so there's no discrepancy on that. If a time expires and the game is tied, then it will remain a tie. There's no extra innings, nothing of that tie. It just remains a tie. You can position 6 infielders. That's including the catcher. So make sure you just have 6 infielders. Can be positioned on the infield with the catcher behind the batter. The outfielders must be 5 feet behind the baselines. Let's not have 11 kids just up there cluttering in the infield. I mean, we'll never have a ball that gets through. So, and we want to reward those hitters that hit a good shot. So make sure those outfielders are at least 5 feet behind the bases. All the games, your field dimensions are in your packet here. It explains to you where the bases are, where home plate goes, and everything else. So that will help you. It's 45 feet base paths, 30 feet from home plate to pitcher's rubber, and then 63 feet and 7 1/4 inch from home plate to second base. But that's all explained in your coaching package. Look over that good. Make sure we get the bases consistent out there. An imaginary arc will be placed about 15 feet in front of home plate between first and third base. It's called a dead ball area. So that way, if it's a batted ball and it goes 5 or 6 feet, we're going to call that a foul ball, dead ball, because no infielders are going to be that close up. We don't want any infielders closer than 15 feet. Bookkeepers, if you're going to keep score, let's have those 2 scorekeepers kind of sit close to each other. That way they're on the same page on the time, on the score, and everything like that, so we don't get any confusion at the end. The umpire that you have volunteer for you, they should check each inning to confirm that the scorekeepers agree on the score and the upcoming batting order for the team. If there is a dispute between the scorekeepers and stuff, the umpire will make the final decision. So that's basically the home team. So the home team will be the official book. So let's make sure we're on the same page, sit close together, and that way everything works out real smooth. If weather becomes a concern at a game, we're just going to use common sense, guys. Don't be out there with lightning. If lightning's 5 or 6 minutes away, even maybe 10 minutes away, don't keep those kids out there. That's very dangerous. If there's rain, just use your common sense how you would do with any time with your kids. If the game should be continued or postponed or just kind of maybe take a few minutes for a rain to pass. All the T-ball games will be played on Mondays and Thursdays. So let's and they will be on the turf fields out at the middle school. So you're going to have great turf to play on. And we do have those fields reserved. So what I would remind you, coaches, if you have another group of people out there that are using the fields for practice of some kind, either football, soccer, something like that, we do have those fields reserved. So by no means do we want you to get in any kind of argument or altercation with somebody out there, but you can tell them that we do have it reserved. And if you have any issues like that people won't respect that, then just give me a call and I'll try to help you out there. And let's make sure when the kids are batting that they don't throw the bat or anything. Could go back and hit a kid. That's really a common thing with the younger kids. Make sure that you're teaching them to lay down the bat and not swing it. Make sure that the pitcher's in contact with the pitcher's rubber. They must be on the pitcher's rubber before a kid hits. So that way they're not scooting up way beyond that 15-foot line. No base stealing. Base runners have to stay on the base till the ball is hit. And remember, coaches, I know everybody gets excited. Make sure you don't touch the base runner running through, running by, or anything like that. It's easy to do. Done it many times. Or the runner will be called out by the umpire. The defensive team, we're going to go ahead and allow that to have one coach standing behind the infield if necessary. We're not going to have 4 or 5 parents out there. That really clutters it up and makes for a really cluster out there. So let's make sure that you only have one adult behind the defense that can help out. There'll be no appeal plays. If an umpire calls something, just stick with that call. You can explain to the players what happened, but we won't have any appeal plays. And that's only goes for T-ball. We won't have any appeal plays in that. No runners is going to be called out for running out of the baseline unless they are trying to avoid being tagged by a player and are outside the 3-foot area of the baseline. So you can call them out if they're avoiding a tag, but if they're just running, and you know how we have some 4-year-olds and younger kids, they'll run and just not really know where to go. We're not going to call them out for that, but only if they're avoiding a tag. The dead ball territory that we talked about earlier, the 15 feet all the way to third base to first base between home, get with your other coach and you guys agree on that area where that dead area will be. So all players present will be in the batting order. Let's say you have 13, 14 kids. They all need to be in the batting order. And 10 players will bat each inning in T-ball. If there's 14 players on a team, 1 through 10 will bat the first inning. There you'll start at 11 to 14. And then every inning after that, the last one that made the out, you start with the next one and you'll bat your 10 from that order. The 10th batter will be the last batter in each inning. So when the batter hits, the action should take place as if there's 2 outs. This means that all third out rules will apply. So they don't have to run home to tag home, but they can get a force out at second or a force out at first, and that will end the inning. It'll be treated like 3 outs. The 10th batter doesn't have to be put out. You can get it out somewhere else. The 10th batter, obviously, he has to hit the ball. There's no strikeouts in T-ball at all, so they have to hit the ball. So on that 10th batter, if there's a couple of people that score before they get that out, that's fine. You count those runs before the out is made, so any runs that count. So also coaches on umpires, we talked about a little earlier on making sure anybody you think that will umpire get their background checked, plus assistant coaches, of course, that we always talk about. Have about 2 to 3 that can umpire a game, that have that background check ready to go, because if somebody's not there, the umpires have to be 18 years or older, no kids out there under 18. And let's be respectful to those volunteers out there, because they're not getting paid. They're just a parent or an assistant or somebody out there watching a family member. Just their calls is what the call is, and hopefully the coaches get together and we get those pretty clean called and everything works out there. Just please, as an umpire, would you have your umpires and coaches too to remind every batter and runner to touch the base? We want them all to learn how to play the game right and to touch all the base, not run across and all that. That happens a lot with the little ones. All right, coaches. Hey, just remember, coaches, like in any other sport, you're responsible for the kids out there, for their attitudes, for having fun and just enjoying and having a great experience. So please help us work on that and make sure that everybody's doing their part to make this a very enjoyable season. And if you have any questions, never hesitate to reach out to me or to anybody in our office staff. We'll be willing to help you with anything. Code of contact with your parent, code of conduct with your parents, with any of your assistants, anybody out there, your kids. Let's make sure we're not crossing any lines, and we're always respecting the game, the kids, and making it a good experience. If you have any questions, like I said, on anything that happens during the game, call me. Sure, we'll reach out and follow up and resolve anything that goes on. Coaches, and just remember, if you ever have any questions about the dimensions, everything's right here in the back of your packets. Definitely look through there and you'll be able to see the rules. They've kind of got everybody where the fielders should be and stuff behind the bases. So check that. Still, if you have any questions, please reach out. And once again, we really thank you for coaching. We can't do this program without you. And we hope that all the kids, all the parents, and all you coaches have a really, really, really good experience. Thank you.